Good afternoon, everybody. We're blasting off to Williams Planets. Stay tuned. And look at this cool new animation that old school EMs made for us a long time ago. But it's new now. So awesome. We're blasting off. Thank you, APB, for 20 months subscriber. Amazing. Hey, what's up, KB, man? Kyle. The host of our show is also Kyle. Small world. Oh, NetReamer. We wish you were with us last week to yell at Kyle in person. Oh, my hot take for Weird Al is I got nothing. Completely unexpected. But I will say that Tracy from Austin came to the Stern Pinball Costume Contest at Pinball Expo dressed as Weird Al. And our only rule for the show was it must be a pinball machine. So she had this whole story about it's my dream thing and it's going to happen. And then, look, 4 months later, she manifested it. Should I? Oh, I'm not ready. Come on. Netreamer / Grumpy / David. We're going to have you on the show soon. We're going into Gottlieb era soon. All right, I'm going to switch over. You ready, Kyle? All right, me too.
Yo. Whoa,
Hello.
wait, hold on. I'm about to bury my microphone.
Welcome, everybody. It's episode 80 dose of PinTech Live. We are blasting off to planets. We've actually been orbiting planets for the last few weeks. Yeah. But we're going to... Kyle was waxing it earlier, and he said it's super pretty. But we're going to just keep working on it so it plays the sweetest it can possibly play for, how old it is.
It'll be pretty good. I'm glad that...
How's everyone doing?
I'm glad that the grumpy EM doctor is here so he can tell me what the
I know, we were trying to summon him last week. But
well...
Welcome back, Mr. Valansky. It was great to see you at Indisc. And like I was saying during the holding screen, I think next week we're going to start a Gottlieb game. So maybe we can get some great guest appearances from Grumpy EM Doctor.
We won't need David next week because there's like...
It's just the intro.
There's like 4 or 5 hours of work that need to happen to the game before we even try to start working on it, like cleaning all the steppers and stuff like that. So I know that we've taken apart a stepper or a score reel before when we worked on Jack in the Box, but it'll be fun to do it again, on a newer game. So yeah. Anyways,
yeah, absolutely.
I had a customer bring me...
Oh, thank you for gifting subs.
Who's gifting subs?
I don't know, but Altered Beats got it.
Hey, cool. So, thanks for the gift subs. Man, y'all are fun. You guys rule. I had a customer bring me a Surf Champ. It's nice. I think it had a little corrosion because someone did some weird painting on it, but the rest of the game's really gorgeous, so it shouldn't take much to get it working and happy. But the funny thing is the guy that brought it to me, I'm talking to Steve when I'm pointing this way. The guy that brought it to me, he had a business in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s called Carolina Coin Op. And he actually knew Mark and had people do work on Mark's route when Mark had his own amusement route, and Mark did work on his stuff because he lived down in Charleston. So when I spoke with Nancy, she mentions like, oh, I know that guy. So anyways, I'm working on his game and it's going to be nice. He's got a couple EMs that he wants me to work on over time. So I love working on EMs. So anyways, look at all these people. Thanks for coming.
I know, we're getting blasted.
So what is there to talk about? We're going to go to Texas Pinball Festival. That's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that.
We're going to Texas! We're bringing a really big team to Texas this time, y'all, because Texas hasn't happened in like 2 years. So we're really excited for the show. We have a lot of new team members. So you'll see some familiar faces and you'll see new faces at our booth. We're really excited to get them out and meet the community and hang out with us. And then, of course, the Twippies ceremony is Saturday night. I have Kyle and Crystal presenting a category for us, which is great.
It's hilarious.
This Week in Pinball is going to live stream that on YouTube. And I imagine Jack Danger will also stream it on Twitch. If he doesn't, we will. Someone will stream it on Twitch. Okay?
Yeah, Twitch.
We'll have rushes.
Yeah.
We'll have other Stern games.
We'll have a couple Godzillas too, right?
Yeah, we'll have Godzilla, of course.
Will we have premium rushes by the time Texas rolls around? I don't remember. Maybe.
Am I allowed to say?
Hopefully.
I don't know. Probably, right?
Hopefully.
We'll have all the good rushes at Texas. Working with Fun Game Room and Billiards. Craig Hassel, Mr. Fun, Grace Craig. Such a great guy.
Craig's a great guy.
So we have some fun stuff prepared for our booth.
Cool. That will be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be a Texas-sized pinball show, that's for sure.
Will we have any mystery castles? Man, someone might bring a mystery castle to Texas.
When I was at MGC last year, I got to play Alvin G Mystery Castle with the guy who wrote all the rules to Alvin G Mystery Castle. So that was really, really fun to learn how to play the game from Mr. Jim Sheard himself. That was pretty neat.
That's really cool.
I love that game. It's so weird.
Oh, and I think we should just take a quick moment to celebrate the amazing life of Barry Ausler. We've worked on some of his games on the show. It was definitely a shocker for all of us to hear of his recent passing. Hits the community hard.
It's sad,
He's made so many great games over the past few decades.
Barry's been fighting bone cancer for like the last 8 years, So strong, badass guy. He left us with a bunch of really neat things to remember his creativity.
He was so funny too. I don't know if you ever had a chance to like talk with him, but he had like the perfect sense of humor in my mind. He was just a really funny guy.
Yeah, nice goofy fella. I mean, shucks. I mean, you know what's actually funny? I think we've worked on more Barry games than anyone else's games on this show. Maybe, like Jungle Lord is a Barry Ausler game.
Several,
Fire is a Barry Ausler game. Time Warp is a Barry Ausler game.
2022 has been rough. Yeah.
What else? I can't remember everything we've worked on, but anyways, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Michael McKenna said a GoFundMe for Barry just came out a few minutes ago. If you want, drop that link in the chat. That would be great. Don't send any subscriptions. If you wanted to subscribe to us, just he did Jungle Lord. Don't subscribe to us. Time Warp.
Right now, if you go donate that $5 to Barry Ausler's
the GoFundMe for sure.
It helps take care of some of his medical expenses. And
everyone on Twitch and YouTube, you should be able to click that link as well. Hi.
Anyways, I see in the chat here, David is talking about...
was saying some things to you, Kyle. I wanted to scroll up because we were kind of talking about news, but there was some more relative pinball stuff. Well, let's go back up to here. Just a quick question before we start from Shell Shock asked, how much do you play test it to find out what work it needs?
I don't play test it to find out what it needs so much. I play test it once I've done most of the work, but a lot, part of fixing a game is definitely playing it a lot to figure out if everything you've done has worked reliably and sustainably. Like, again, there's a lot of work. I know a lot of the work you have to do beforehand, so I'll try to knock out as much of the stuff I know I need to do before I even turn the game on or play it. So, but there's a lot of play testing involved. Fixing pinball machines for money is fun because you technically get paid to play pinball.
Right.
Which is pretty awesome.
It's a nice little perk of the job.
Yeah.
So Grumpy said earlier, Kyle, I noticed you always raise the playfield to the service position for planets and never the inspection position.
Ooh.
He says, I own a Zodiac and had it on location for a few years before I found the prop rod.
There's a prop rod? I'll have to look.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Honestly, I never use the prop rod for anything because I'm almost 7 feet tall, so it's just easier and more natural for me to lift it all the way up because then I don't have to hunch over to do most of the work. So that's why it is kind of hard for me to...
He said, sorry to keep talking about the prop rod.
No, that's awesome. I want to, when I lift it up, I'm going to take a look-see. I didn't know there was a prop rod.
Grams, thanks for joining us. And Wildman's here too. Old school EMs, I saw you emoting. We played your PinTech opening, your Marco TV opening. Did you see it? You guys want to see it again? Almost 7 feet, that's a lot of Kyle. Yes, Kyle is actually 1 inch taller than Jack Danger.
Well, we'll find out this in March when
It's my greatest accomplishment, and it's not even my accomplishment.
being a talent scout and finding someone taller than Jackie D.
I know.
Good job.
Because he can't be the world tallest pinball streamer, and I just love messing with him.
Yeah. Anywho, there's a bit of work to do.
Thank
I don't
you.
know if we're ready to jump in. Thanks
Very
for joining
whimsical
us,
fit
everybody.
with the whole theme.
Oh,
Hello,
you know-
Rob Wentz. Welcome.
let's
All
do
right,
something
Kyle,
really
what
quick.
are we doing on planets?
No, let's look at something else before we go to planets first. Oh, first off, check it out. Emoto and I fixed the lagginess. Look at that. It's a whole lot less laggy now, so now when I talk, it kind of comes...
It was a nice combination of needing to update and, like, that was 30% of it, and 70% was definitely user error on my end.
It's okay.
But we figured it out. So now we don't have this weird, you hear the chimes before you see it.
Yeah. Let's...
What was the issue? It was laggy, so our webcams were like a second off from everything else.
Yeah, they were
It was fun.
exporting in a weird format, and I think it was like software downscaling them. We fixed it, though. Good job. Go to handheld cam. Let's do this really quick. I can give an update on Hotline.
Oh, God, where are you taking us?
To Hotline. Turn it on. I can see. Okay. So here's
Sorry,
Hotline.
I can't adjust the white balance on this camera for some reason.
Oh, here. Yeah, maybe if I turn the light on. Does this blow it out too much?
No, that's great.
So I went in
come focus.
and I glued in a piece of plywood, or an actual ply. Steve, would you mind handing me the actual ply? So one of my coworkers actually had, like, a piece of veneer, and it is exactly the same thickness as the ply that delaminated from my playfield. So I went in and I removed the rest of the wood putty. I kind of tried to cut the edge as square as I possibly could, and then I laid in a piece of veneer and wood glued it down. I let it sit over the weekend, and I'm very satisfied with how it came out. I had to trim it down a little bit. Thankfully, these little bits where it kind of chipped will be covered up by the side rail, etc. But the next steps here would be removing the rest of the glue that kind of squeezed out, and then I will probably, before I stain it, I'm probably going to put down like some linseed oil, and then maybe I want to try to find some sort of a finish that will sort of match the what's left. I'm not that concerned about it at this point. I don't care. I just want it to play. But before that, I'm going to need to fill in this little section, and also I need to score this and try to sand myself in a ball groove, which won't be that difficult.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Yeah, so as you can see, there was a decent amount of water damage on this playfield, and that's why just this section delaminated. I went in here with some super thin super glue, like used for model making, and I hardened up the wood by just saturating the crap out of the plywood and here to try to keep the delaminating nastiness from continuing to become damaged. So if I can lay a convincing shooter lane groove right here, we'll be golden. I think I'll just score it with my art knife, and then maybe I'll get like a pinball shooter rod or something like that, wrap it in sandpaper, and just spend a long time trying to get that thing shaved out. But
Can we do an episode on that?
No. I'd no distractions.
We love the ASMR sanding of pinball machines.
We're going to, I'm going to turn the camera. We're going to,
Saturday? Oh, yeah.
I need all the concentration I can get when I'm doing that kind of work.
Look, there's a spaceship alien. Oh my gosh. You saw that?
Oh.
Yoo-hoo. Alright. Yeah,
Saucer
that's
man.
pretty cool doing the groove. Grumpy says he wants to see how you create the ball groove.
I don't know. Once I figure it
What
out,
if it's a Saturday stream? And you don't have to even talk to us. We just hear the...
I'm gonna figure out how to do it. I'm not sure yet.
Gotcha.
I didn't measure, and that's my first mistake. Is I should have measured like how far the ball groove goes up, so I could have had like reference of that. But what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to try to at least just find center, and hit it with my knife and puncture the veneer, and then just shimmy it down. You know, it's going to be tough. I was trying to think of like how to wrap a pinball in sandpaper, you know, because that's like just the right diameter. And then I was thinking like a rat tail file would be a good way to do it, but I'm afraid that a rat tail file is going to be a little bit too coarse and it will damage and rip the veneer more than I want it to. So it might turn into just like a hand sanding thing, or maybe I will get my Dremel and I'll put like the sanding drum attachment on it and just be extraordinarily careful. But it's better than,
awesome.
no, I have to remind myself that it's going to be better than how it was when I started, so it doesn't matter how it turns out. It's going to be better and it will be playable, which is all that matters.
Oh yeah, can we film it but just not live? So we can have ASMR shooter rod footage?
Hey, you're going to be here next week. Let's use one of our filming days to do that.
We just spent 8 hours of you sanding. Okay, sounds good.
Well, you know what?
Pinball Grams asked, are Saturday stream notices being sent out? No, because we have not streamed on Saturday yet, but when we do, as long as you have all your notifications turned on, you'll get it. That's more of a whimsical type of... What is that sound? Do you hear that?
What? I don't hear anything. Yeah, if you have your notifications on, you'll get notified when Twitch goes live or when we go live. Unfortunately, I barely have time to sleep, so I don't have time to stream on the weekends often, so.
Hello, Pinball Rob and Hot Pack and everyone else that just joined in. Oh, I see Dent there. I'm scrolling through.
Here, people are giving tips now.
Kyle is the exact same height of a D&D plus a topper. That is correct.
Okay.
Awesome. Wrap the stick or broomstick with sandpaper and grind at the right angle with a cordless screwdriver.
That's a clever way to do it. I mean, honestly, I was thinking of wrapping sandpaper around an old pinball shooter rod and doing basically the same thing.
Hot Pack likes the code.
You know what, actually here, I don't think, I mean, maybe one of y'all do, but if any of you guys have a hotline, could you maybe measure how long the shooter groove is? Just so I can use that for reference. It would be nice to measure a little bit more, you know, but I'm confident that I can get it okay, but I do feel like a dummy for not taking that measurement before I started, so. Oh look, I've been shortened, thank you. Anyways, y'all don't come here to watch me talk, so let's go and talk about the pinball machine really quick. Give me 1 second.
How's our audio sound? I personally was hearing some weird interference, but y'all let me know in the chat. And as, well, this is the check 1 2, our free domestic ground shipping for orders over $99 and $10 off international shipping for 24 hours only starting now is in all caps PT-Pluto is a planet, because that's a fact.
It's a fact. I was informed that Pluto is a planet. In
Steve
fact.
Midge.
Excellent.
Midge to the rescue. Rebel Dog says, use tape to establish the sides you don't accidentally sand too far out. Experience talking here.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
That's a really good
and that's
idea.
what it would be. That's actually the best idea. Thank you. Because I know what the base of the shooter groove. Oh, let me bend over. I know what the base of the shooter groove is. So if I tape off at least from that very base where the shooter rod is, and then just run a flat line going up, I should be in the ballpark somewhere. So.
God. And then Grumpy said, make a long cone the shape of the groove, wrap it in sandpaper, and mount the cone on a hand drill.
Yep, that sounds like a lot of work. I might just mount a shooter rod onto a hand drill and see what I can do.
Oh, Lord.
It'll be fine. I'm not that worried about it. So, I fixed some things. I had to do a little bit of switch surgery. I used this switch. I don't remember what this is actually for. Oh, what camera? Here.
He's not going to practice.
Nah, we don't practice. We just do. I will practice a little bit on some vernier to see how intense it takes, but I'm not that worried about it.
Whoa.
I found this switch, which is a very close match to the Williams score reel end of stroke switch.
Nice.
But when I installed it and I was confused as to why the problem was persisting, it's because I was having it actuate the wrong way. What I needed to do was I actually had to take the switch apart and I had to change the position of the lugs. So
can you drop it into frame a little bit?
Actually, let's go to the back
beautiful.
here so you can actually see what I've done.
Oh.
We did just a teeny bit of switch surgery.
Where'd he go? Super, super cool to see the same concept executed in solid state and ladder logic. Oh, talking about Matahari? It's a great game. Also, Pluto isn't a planet because Pinball ate it? No. Where'd you get your news from?
That's fake news. That's like some Russian news.
says, I can send you a 4-inch long by 1-inch sanding sleeve.
I don't know what that is, but send it away, please. I will use it. I needed to take this switch apart. If we look at this mechanism here. Oh, turn the other camera on, will you?
Yes. Not that one. There it goes. All right, looks good.
I needed the long blade to be closer to the coil. I couldn't get the long blade closer to the coil, meaning this way, with the switch the way it is because all of the lugs for soldering face, towards this bracket. So I ended up needing to take the switch apart and do some modifications. Thankfully, the way this switch is constructed, it has a dummy, or the backing blade for the short end is actually the solder lug, and then it has a dummy lug. So I was able to snip the blade, the lug off of the long blade, flip it around, and then install these in the right orientation to get this to work now. So we have a working end of stroke switch in this score unit, score stepper. And right before we turned the cameras on, I waxed the game, which is starting to look pretty juicy. I might need to put another coat or two down. Let me show you that really quick. And then what else do we need to do? I think the next couple things I want to do to improve gameplay would be to we're gonna clean the contacts of some of the direct drive switches to make the game a little more peppy. And I'll show you what that entails. And then David, Grumpy EM Doctor, is going to tell us the rules of the game so I can make sure all the functionality is okay. I think we found that we had blown fuses for the magnets before. I need to make sure I have the correct fuses, and then we will try running it. But if you look at the playfield, oh, here, we can use this camera.
I'm so sad.
It's a bit shinier now.
So orange.
It's you're gonna see a little bit of reflection, but just like this is like after 2 or 3 coats of just carnauba wax, and it's kind of juiced up the ink a little bit. It doesn't look as like planked and cracked up in a lot of places. There is a lot of places where it will never look better, but it cleaned up nicely.
Yeah, it's looking nice.
So. Yeah, I don't know. It's coming along. It still needs a little bit of love, but we'll give it to it. What I'd like to do, though, is I do want to clean. I want to clean the switches for the slingshot, all 4 of them, and also look at the flipper linkages to make sure that they are kind of tight. The flippers do their job, but they are they are a little
shiny, yes.
sad to get up to the top of the playfield. They're a little sluggish. So let's take a look-see and see if we can improve that at all. In these games, in this game in particular, let's look for the prop rod too.
Grumpy says test the bridge rectifier.
I will do that. That's a good idea. Oh, there's the prop rod. It's on the left side.
He found the prop rod!
Oh, hold on.
Oh, time to hydrate.
The playfield harness
I was supposed to take that off, actually.
What?
I'm changing hydrate to something else next week. Sorry, not sorry.
Definitely not sorry. I do need to hydrate, though. My lips are kind of
Hey,
parched.
so Kyle, what's the best way to fix cupped inserts after you tried to hammer them out and sand them, but ended up cracking like half of them? Asking for a friend.
That the reason what you're talking about right now is why I don't fix cupped inserts. So
No.
just don't. If it bothers you that much, you might want to just rebuild the put a new playfield in it at some point. But I try to steer clear of doing all of that stuff. It's too risky and many.
And you end up breaking half of them.
Yeah, look, I mean, like all these inserts are cupped, but I'm not gonna go through the time to try to fix them. You know, all the inserts on my strikes and spares are also pretty cupped. You know, but whatever, it plays fine. Be careful. That's all I could say. Do it carefully and go slow.
I didn't know they made left-handed pinball machines.
Oh my, get out of here. So what we have here is
only used for the magnets, not the slings.
I'm sorry, say that again?
The bridge rectifier is only used for magnets and not the slings.
Oh, okay. Well, the magnets don't even work yet, so we're going to look at that. But what I wanted to explain is, like, here on an electromechanical game, most electromechanical games, you'll have I would call this a direct drive pop bumper. So it's kind of like a flipper in the way of closing the cabinet switch will provide or finish the circuit to then energize the coil. When your ball hits the rubber and it closes those slingshot switches, that is what causes the coil to then pull in and kick the ball away. So you could have a situation where you have some nasty, icky stuff on the switches for your slingshots, and that will give you degraded, sad performance. So that is what I kind of want to look into. Also feeling this is not smooth. This sucks. We haven't actually gone through and oiled any of the pivot points yet, so I'm very quickly going to go in here and do that service. You can see, I mean, we've got the way that these score, though, just in case you're curious, well, how does it do that and score? If you look at the, how do I raise this?
Do we have any space mission playfields, Midge?
No.
I don't think so. Yeah. Gonna go ahead and say no.
Good luck on that one. That's a great game.
No, and good luck.
This switch here, underneath the assembly, so when the ball hits these switches, it will then energize the coil, which will then bring the plunger in. And when it pulls in, you've got this this stud right here where my finger is. When that stud pulls down, it closes this switch, and that is what will score your 10 points or whatever a slingshot is worth. When this is in its extended position, it is raising the long blade, and when it drops, it closes that switch, and that is how you get points. So
okay.
that is how that circuit on this game works. Let me grab my oil really quick, and we will lubricate these pivot points a little bit here. Look, though, like when it comes to like cupped inserts, like if they're not super cupped, I used to have a supply of like little 3/4 inch and 1 inch pieces of Mylar, And sometimes,
Can hear me.
if they weren't like really bad, I would lay a little piece of Mylar that was exactly the same width as the insert on top of the insert to try to smooth that surface out a teeny bit, or at least like lessen the jarring transition from wood to plastic back to wood. Another thing that Michael Schiess, the brilliant man who runs the Pacific Pinball Museum, he had this crazy like urethane epoxy that was very, very viscous, and he would get the playfield like very flat and then use a dropper on some of these really, really old EMs, and he would lay down like a teeny puddle of very viscous epoxy and then let it dry, and that was amazing. It had just enough surface tension to flatten itself out when you got it in just the right way. I wish I knew what that stuff was. Anywho,
Can you do me a quick favor and pan the Sony camera right a little too?
yeah,
You keep falling out of frame and then they're like, who's talking?
yeah.
It's the imaginary repairman.
It's just
Oh, look, there's Jungle Boy.
me.
Wait, Jungle Man.
It's the Lord.
Christopher says, tell me how, oh wait.
Okay. Tell me how a WPC Bally Slings scores without the leaf switch below the coil arm for Doctor Who.
Because a computer is smart, and the computer sees the switch close, and when the computer sees the switch close on the slingshot, it fires the coil to then kick the ball and also register that you have hit it, and it scores points. On these electromechanical games, they are not as clever as computers are. They don't have as much brain. So your solid state games will fire solenoids via computer control, where this is like direct drive. You know, when they close, it provides 24 volts to this coil, and it fires. So what I'm doing here is I'm applying a bit of oil to the pivot point here.
Can you show us the oil that you use as well? This fancy bottle?
It's a Zoom spout oiler, which has then been filled with like 10, 30, or whatever random motor oil I had sitting around is. Any like 30 weight motor oil will be fine.
So just a little bit?
Yeah, well, you never want to use too much. So I apply just a teeny bit, and then I work it in through the mechanism. Since oil is viscous, when you start moving it, it will work its way through and lubricate this entire pin. And it's moving a lot smoother now. And that's the only thing you do. I need to always add a bit of a disclaimer whenever I'm using lubricants. The piece that I'm lubricating is the pivot point. Right? This arm is shaped like an L. That's what kicks the ball. That is then hooked up to this plunger, and it stays stationary against the playfield in this one area where it's a pivot point. So we're just oiling that metal-on-metal contact there to keep it moving nicely and free. You could use grease if I was doing something that required me to take that all the way apart and do like a full disassembly. I would just use some like moly grease on that because metal on metal is you definitely want to use grease there, but also oil works absolutely fine in this application also, and then you don't have to take everything apart. So we'll lay a bit of oil on top there. Oh, this might not be in frame.
Oh, I was like, where'd it go?
And then again, I'm just working it through.
So you're just doing the same thing for that one?
Yes, there's
just at the pivot point?
There's 4 slingshots on this game, so I'm going to lubricate all 4 pivot points. I'm also going to add a little bit to the ball launch armature, which is basically a slingshot. And then the only other place I would use any oil would be maybe to oil the motor bendix and the set of gears, which translate the motor force onto the actual set of cams that is the score motor.
Nice. Oh.
So I'm running out of room, so I'm just quickly going to do the other 2, and we'll move on. But these are the little things that I'm going to work on to try to get that gusto back into those slingshots. This game is it's pretty boring. And a lot of the action comes from having all of these slingshots all over the place. So when the slingshots are not moving nicely, the game is especially boring.
That's not nice to call the game boring.
Well, some games are just boring. Not all
Boring
games are
to
created
you,
equal.
maybe.
It's still pinball, so it's inherently better than like most things, but it's a boring, cute game. I think
Oh,
Williams used like some sort of like a lithium grease
Do we
on
need a
these things
timeout,
from the
Colin
factory.
Baxter? What's going on over there in the chat? You going to jail?
Who's going to jail?
Colin Baxter.
Yeah, send that guy to jail. Good
We're
for
sending you to
nothing.
pin jail.
Bearded, beer-loving guy. Gosh, I don't know anyone with a beard who enjoys beer.
Beers and
What?
beers.
All right.
Mitch just shaved his beard off right now. Where do you get these emotes? When will you have the ballet armature in? Ask old school EMs.
Which armature? The slingshot armatures? That's on my wish
question.
list of things to do for
Easy
sure.
on the beard. We like beards on the show. We've been trying to get Kyle to grow a beard for 2 years now.
Nah, that can't.
Trying to grow a beard for 15, so
Yeah. I've been trying to grow a beard since I was 15. Yeah, 15 years.
He's trying so hard. I can see his little speckles.
I will
Touching my beard.
to nobody who cares, I will be getting my hair cut tomorrow morning, so I will be
Oh.
I'll be a lot more handsome looking for the Texas Pinball Festival. Look, I can't be a unkempt version of Jack Danger. If we're both the same person and no one's ever seen us in the same room.
Have you noticed that Jack Danger's new publicity photo is his Kyle cosplay photo?
Yeah, I know. It's so funny.
Where he
So-
looks like you with the glasses and
So
everything.
Jack sent me that picture and I laughed super hard, and then
That's
I
his
took
publicity photo, though.
I took a very similar picture, and I was looking through pictures on my phone with my wife the other day, and that picture came up, and she's like, "Why did you take a picture of yourself? I don't think I've ever seen a selfie on your phone." And I was like, "Well, long story, but this is why."
That's great.
Anyways, enough talking about myself. No one wants to hear this. I'm going to see if I can get a shot of this.
Yeah, don't shave your beard, Joe. Whatever's happening in the chat, it was a joke. Keep the beards. Always keep the beards. Stern made Jack have a lot of gray hair in only a year. Oh, man. Yeah, maybe. He's getting the wisdom glitter. Maybe he just dyed his hair before. And now
Probably.
he's confident and will let his glitter glow.
I've got so much gray
Pinball
hair.
repair. Kyle is still oiling.
Yeah, we're going to do one more bit of oil. I like to drop this is the score motor here.
Oiling.
So you've got
Oiling.
you've got a basic motor that spins when it is provided with electricity, and then there is a set of gears which kind of like your transmission in your car will translate the relatively weak force coming out of the motor into something a little more oomphy. So there's a set of gears in here that might be a little difficult to see, but what I am doing is just adding a drip of oil to the actual gears themselves, just to re-lubricate what is going on in here. And then there is a teeny piece. There's actually like a bit that gets pulled in due to magnetic force, and that's what actually turns
I'll do
gears.
these.
I think it's called a Bendix. I think on a car, it's called a Bendix gear, and the starter motor, which is essentially the same thing. I like to oil that just a teeny bit. The only reason I put a little bit of oil here is through years and years of operation, there gets to be, they do just kind of gum up a little bit. So if you have a score motor that like won't disengage. Sometimes oiling just a teeny bit can really, really help out.
Nice.
So actually here, and we can watch it work. Let me turn this thing on really quick. Kind of wish I had the playfield out now, but one of these switches is like the hold on switch, and it just makes the motor run. It might be this one.
Oh, that's so cool.
So when
I just
this
want to
switch,
do a cool macro shot of that.
when this switch is engaged, it holds itself on. I think this is a 180-degree cam. So as soon as the motor starts spinning, it does 180. I think Williams did 180 degrees of rotation. Yeah. So this will hold itself on for 180 degrees, and that lets the motor work out more complicated functions, such as like on some games, like when you score 500 points. When the motor rotates, let's just use this one for example. When it rotates 180 degrees, there will be a cam that also might bump 5 times. So if you scored 500 points, when the motor starts turning, there will be a switch that is pulsed 5 times in 180 degrees, and that actuates the 100-point relay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. That's how they score 5,000 points. Yeah, so like on this one, I think Williams called that the impulse cam. Does this show it all?
Yes, it'll be good.
Look at this one in the back here.
Yeah.
So when this thing makes 180 degrees of rotation,
beautiful.
this set of switches will open and close 5 times. You see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is how and why these score motors are set up that way. There are things that need to open and close in unison to work smoothly. There are instances where this Williams score motor is a pain in the butt. If a Cletus has been working on it before, there are 2 positions for those switch stacks also, and that will like micro adjust when they open or close. So in some manuals, like if you look at a really complex game, like what's a complex game? Grand Prix. You'll have like one position that says impulse, which is the 5 steps per 180 degrees, and you'll have one that's called impulse forward. So that set of switches is attached in like another set of holes that is like 2 millimeters in front of it. I've watched the guy I used to work for just get so damn frustrated until he realizes like, okay, got to get into the score motor now, and realize that someone had installed that stack of switches incorrectly. He moved them backwards, it fixed the game.
Hey, Chris the Pintern. Are you still a Pintern? Welcome. He likes your Vikings.
Oh.
Who doesn't, though?
What's up, Crit?
Viking is so cool.
We got into a fight one day because he told me that he sent me a message on Pinside saying he messaged me and said he wanted to buy my Viking. I was like, no, you didn't. No one's ever done that. No one's in. What are you talking about, man? So then I spent like 30 minutes trying to figure out how to log into Pinside, and I found that message, and he did.
You just have to prove the point. So did he?
Yes, he did. So I felt bad.
What the heck, dude?
I'm just going to clean this because I have it out. It's like,
so are you going to sell him your Viking?
no,
Anyone?
no, never.
Forever home?
Every game I have is a forever home. I'm the home of
Me too.
unloved, displaced pinball machines.
What are those toys that no one loves?
The Island of Misfit Toys and the stop-motion Rudolph movie. That's great.
Classic.
Nah, I just
Kyle
don't sell
doesn't
games
sell
anymore.
pins. No,
I
he
love
only
Viking
buys
too
them.
much.
And then puts them everywhere around the world where there's space. Hey, we want to see what you're doing.
Oh, I just cleaned the cover for the motor gear set and I just put it back on. I'd like to get in. There are certain games that I own that I'd like to do. I've seen people online like take steam wands to the bottom boards and like steam up all of the dirt and nastiness, but that's like too fine-tooth comb kind of stuff. I really don't enjoy doing that kind of work so much. I think there are some people that like really do like going into these games and cleaning every single contact on the bottom boards and stuff like that. I personally have never been in the situation where that was necessary. The guy that taught me how to do all this stuff really put into my brain that even though you have the best intentions, like a lot of the times doing that kind of stuff will cause more problems. So I honestly, I don't go in there unless I have to.
Sure, you just want to be extra careful, right?
That's just my school of thought. I don't think that there's anything wrong, especially if you know what you're doing, but that's not the way I work. So another thing I do sometimes with EMs is sometimes I'll come in and I'll sample like a switch stack and I'll turn the screws and see if any of them are really loose.
Oh wait, can you tilt up your camera? I just realized,
can you
I was
not
like,
see that?
wait, where's his head?
I really want to take the dang playfield out just so we can see the bottom board.
Take it out.
I'm too
Mitch
lazy
is
to
right
do that
there.
again.
He can help you.
Why can't you help?
I said I can help.
Oh, you can? I don't need your help.
Why can't you help?
Actually, here, wait.
I can.
I'm going to see if I can use the prop
Yeah.
rod, and maybe we can get the
Oh
play.
yeah, use the Great.
No, I got it. This is so awkward. Wait. How does the prop rod even work on this game?
Well, it's
Grumpy.
not gonna pull up there. You gotta bring this back.
How does the proper dote?
That
Do you
is
guys
so
know what the
weird.
dote is?
The what?
DOAT.
Here,
No.
hold it for me.
The degenerate of all time.
Oh, that's me. Actually, you know what? Here, I can get an angle if I just do this.
Or the pinball degenerates, right?
Here, and then I could. Here, let
Pinball
go.
Pleasure
I'm gonna put it
says,
back.
I wish I could kneel down like that and
Yeah.
see clearly into the lower cabinet.
Okay, that's it.
Yes.
Here, let's see if I can get an angle
need a
this way,
step
so
stool
at
to
least
see
I can
into the
show
lower
what I'm
cabinet,
talking
so.
about. Do those switches
Grumpy
come
EM
in at
Doctor
all?
says, agreeing with Kyle, you should not need to clean every switch. If they're adjusted properly with good wipe, they clean themselves.
Yeah, and that's like where like the mantra that some people taught me is like, you know, if you play your electromechanical games, they will work longer than if you let them sit and not play them. And actually, it's funny,
Yeah.
David, my Grand Prix where we were working through that issue where
Wait, something's falling.
what?
Oh, okay. Hold on, something's falling. The camera's falling.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
it's
just like watching it slowly pan
It's gone
down.
flaccid.
I'm like, wait, where is that and how is that happening? Okay, sorry. Continue. Oh, Von Crafty at work. Thanks for joining us. First time chat.
hey, thank you.
We
That's
appreciate it.
amazing. When
I
there's
know
my
it's always
screwdriver.
great when Midge comes and makes a cameo.
We had
But you can always hear his laugh in the background.
put the inside the game camera on the big screen, will you?
Okay.
David helped me
Man,
work through an
it's an
issue
awesome
where
shot.
my Grand Prix would even though I only started a one-player game, it would not reset the player unit, or it would always like advance to the fourth player. It was very strange. But then I haven't played the game for like 3 months, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go play my pinball machine. I turned it on, and it was doing the same thing. So with electromechanical games, absolutely playing them helps keep them working.
I don't want
What I was
to.
trying to say with sampling switches, you know, sometimes when I
So
just
cool.
have a screwdriver, I will come into a big bank of switches and I will sample. Look how loose that one was. I could get like shucks, I got like a half turn. I might want to tighten some of these. When these things start to loosen up, that will affect the adjustment of all of the switches, right? If you think about that stack of switches, right? Let me get a switch. We'll just
Nice,
use
Rainbow.
a small one as an example, but you know, think about this being one of those switches that has like 6 of them all in one stack.
Oh,
They're
hold on,
pressed
can
together.
You, lift it up. Sorry.
I'm sorry. So they're pressed together and they're held together. Or they're held tight with the the tightening of the screws that hold them to their plates. If that thing starts to loosen a little bit,
these gaps in these old switch stacks can start to spread just a teeny bit. But, the difference in, when we're talking like a millimeter or a half a millimeter or something like that, that can be enough to throw off the adjustment of one of many of these switches. I was taught to sample some and see if they are tight. If a lot of them are very loose, it might be worth your interest to go in and see why or how many, or not why, I mean, we know why, it's old. But going through here and just tightening some of these things up can sometimes improve performance and solve weird intermittent issues. So
Nice. Turansu metal.
this
Half
is
a millimeter is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Let me use my favorite measurement then, a butt hair, because that's less than a half
Whose
of a
butt
millimeter.
hair?
A very fine butt hair. But that's enough. Again, that's the difference. It's not fine enough for government work. We need this to be like military spec, within a butt hair's tolerance. So it can really throw things off. Just a teeny bit out of adjustment. That was a really loose screw.
Red butt hair strikes again.
Can you tell that a lot of the people I've worked
are
for?
lightning transfer stations.
What's
I
that?
like that a lot.
That's true. It's
Grumpy
magic.
EM Doctor said the prop rod works like any other. There's a shallow cut in the playfield underside, just on the left side.
It's very odd.
And it took him a few years to find it, so don't feel bad.
Okay.
Which I don't think you did.
I don't feel
just in
bad,
case.
but I also just never use prop rods anymore.
Von Crafty wants to see tightened within a butt hair's tolerance in a service manual.
Well, if I ever, maybe in a past life I wrote some of these service
Daniel,
manuals.
I hope you're doing okay. I know it's getting scary in that region.
Hi, Daniel.
Stay
yeah,
safe.
please stay safe.
We're glad you're here. Always happy to see you in the chat.
My heart goes out to all of my friends in
know.
Ukraine. So, but we don't need to talk about that. Let's bring ourselves into a world of fantasy and slight delusion, which is pinball.
A new emote? Wait, what should the emote be? I missed it. Oh, wait.
Sanding
I think I know.
ASMR. That should be our new emote.
I think I have a dead flip emote. We can just use that.
Yeah, let's just steal Jack's emotes. That's fine. He won't care.
Oh, I'm not.
Suddenly my screwdriver's too long, but
There
they've
we go.
actually been getting tighter the further we go back. So anyways, that makes me feel a little bit better. That was just kind of a tangent. So really quick, I want to check the value of these fuses here.
Pin Daddy. Oh my gosh.
It is a 4 amp slow blow fuse. Instead of going into my case of fuses, I have a box of them over here. Let me see if I can find one.
So many wires, so many switches. It's
These
so
are
beautiful.
all fast blow fuses.
Oh, yeah. Turansumeta found it. Just one hair.
Are these all fast flow fuses? Probably. Okay, well, you know what? I need to
Pin Daddy,
restock
I think
my
that
parts
happened to
box
Kyle,
tomorrow
too,
anyways,
with
so.
the Bride of Pinball. We lost
And you know
Kyle.
what?
Did
Do
he
I
go
have a-
out to his car again?
Still around.
He's still around. He's floating. They can hear him, but we can't. Is he saying anything interesting?
No. I'm trying to find, see if I have a 4 amp circuit breaker, and I don't think I do. So for giggles, I'm going to put my 3 amp circuit breaker. Here, David, here's your time to shine. How do I get the magnet to work on this game?
Yeah, he's been waiting for this moment. He's where the drill bit went.
Roller pinball? Oh, man.
I know. See, you didn't even have to look in the chat.
It's my enemy. I know that. No,
And
I'm just
don't
kidding.
worry, Roller Pinball, when you can't make it to the show, Midge makes sure that we get that chat.
Oh, my goodness.
Never forget. Some jerky in my teeth.
There you go. No, Emoto. if you wanted to find the biggest fail moment for the 100th episode, just find whatever episode the drill bit is, and that's it. That was my favorite episode ever. So
It was when we first moved to the studio. So I should be able to. Roller Pinball, what episode was that?
I don't know.
Oh,
Probably.
actually, that might be when we were still doing the show notes.
You know what? I think we were working on roller games though. So if I remember right, the magnet works
That looks cool.
when you have all of the Zodiac symbols lit. Oh crap! But the Zodiac symbols are all on the back of the playfield. Okay, well. Oh, you know what? One sec. My circuit breaker that I have put into this fuse holder sits in a way where it might hit the relay bank, but I don't think it will.
I should switch.
No, it's just gonna rest on wires. That's. Nope. Hold on.
I don't like when you do that. And the game's on.
The
gonna eat
playfield
you.
harness on this game is really, really awkward.
15.
Oh, you
I
need
know,
to
it's
launch
okay.
the
None of
ball
us
for it to
remember.
work. Magnet holds the ball while the bonus is collected. Build a bonus. Hit the 3 targets on the left or right side to light sun or moon. Hit the sun or moon target with the ball. Okay,
How
so
did you read that?
we've got some bonus moon advance. So this will light the moon advance. Oh, sorry, we don't have a camera on.
You just cussed on our stream.
What did I say?
I can't say it.
I was trying to get you to swear too. Okay,
Like,
so
what?
we're gonna hit. We've got 5,000 points in moon bonus. I'm gonna hit Venus, Mars, Mercury,
Oh, gosh.
and now we're gonna try
What
to
have I
hit the
done?
moon. And okay, so it does work now. It may have just been a blown fuse. I want to watch it work on both
Even in
sides.
studio mode.
Just in case maybe the sun magnet is shorted, which is not likely, but we will hit the light sun advance. I'll hit the spinner,
Ah, it's so cool.
and a bunch of those lights are out. But now we have 7,000 points in bonus, so I should be able to go and now hit the sun. Okay, I'm going to say that it's okay and safe to put a fuse in at this point.
This game isn't boring. Why would you say something like that?
Because
That was so
that's how
cool.
I perceive it. You know what?
Your
It's a lot more
opinions are
exciting
so
now that I
bold.
got the chimes working. That's another thing we could do also. I cleaned, while we were off camera, I cleaned the scoring relays.
Oh, nice.
The game was oddly quiet, so I was really confused. It was only sometimes like hitting the bell inside. This game has one bell. So I double checked, I went to the schematic, and I saw that the 100-point and the 1,000-point relay is supposed to drive the bell. So I went in there and I cleaned all the fat contacts on those relays, and all of a sudden the game is a lot more noisy. So that's pretty awesome.
Nice. Grumpy says Zodiac lights are a carryover feature from game to game. And he also says, I suggest you mylar the playfield where the magnet holes are. It wears there too much.
That's a good idea.
And
This-
Kyle got eaten.
This game will
Yeah.
never spend time in Free Gold Watch or Outer Orbit. It will probably live in Nancy's living room at some point. But,
As it should. Oh, there's Midge! Wave!
oh yeah, there's Steve.
He's like, what? You're breaking the fourth wall. Oh, there you go.
Oh man, that camera is a little laggy
That
again.
was fun. No.
Okay, I'm moving it right now.
Put your hand in front.
Oh,
well,
it's not
I
that
guess-
bad now. That's weird.
I
Anyways.
think just because it was like adjusting.
Let me get a game going again
Whee.
too, and I can show you something else. Like,
This is
Um,
a cool shot. Oh,
learning how to do and touch and what you can and should not touch isn't very important. But we spoke about this when we first got this game, and a lot of these wires are sun bleached. It lived a long time without a door, and the sun has taken away a lot of the colors of our poor wires. So it is difficult to use the schematic to see that the bell may be driven by the yellow and green black wire. Well, they all kind of look a weird shade of white right now, right? So
mostly.
I'm going to start a game here. I'm going to launch the ball. And I'm going to take this ball away, and I'm going to get, generally I'll be doing this with like a metal file because that's what I'm going to use to clean the contacts, but we can go back here and short some of these switches, right? So the purpose of this, the entire assembly here is a relay. When this coil is activated by whatever activates it, it will, in this case, it'll activate 5 switches in unison. Let's look at the 10 point, 100 point, and 1,000 point relay because those are ones that make a sound. When this thing closes, it does a few things. The primary thing it will do is going to be actuating the score reel, right? Let me see if I can get both of them in the same shot. So if I hit this relay by hand, the 10 score reel goes. So there's one switch on this relay that activates that coil to run that stepper. This switch right here is the hold on. This relay will hold itself on until the actual stepper has made a full step, which is the problem we had last week when I had the end of stroke switch backwards. But where I'm getting at, you can see on some of these switches stacks on the relay, you see how, I mean, it's pretty apparent here. You see you have a fat contact there and a small contact there. General rule of thumb is that fat contacts are going to drive something. It's got that bigger, stronger, tougher contact to drive a coil or something like that, right? So let me get this in frame.
Yep.
Oops, the light went away. And let me just short that. I'm just going to put this file in between the switch, right? Okay, nothing. So that isn't going to drive that or the bell. Let's try another one of these switches. Nothing. Okay, so this switch here in the center of that back stack is the one that drives the 100 point stepper. Can you see that?
I disappeared.
If I close the switch and not just short it, that's what happens every time. So I'm going to guess that maybe, which one's the bell then? I thought it was going to be one of the ones on top. Did I not get this one closed
Where's
enough?
the bell?
Okay, well, so that kind of breaks my theory there, but it's actually a smaller contact that drives the bell for whatever reason. But if I short out this bottom or this middle switch in the bottom here, that just runs the bell. So we can test things individually. As long as you know what you're poking around with and you know you won't do damage, that is one way to kind of figure out what's going on. If you're getting a chime, or if you're scoring 100 points but the bell's not working,
It's not even there.
it'll help you figure out which switch might be the bell to come in and look at. I also want to make sure that that's adjusted just the right amount. If you have a switch that's not adjusted just right, when the full travel of the relay armature comes down, if the bottom blade of the switch is a little too far away, it doesn't make great contact, and you'll either get a really weak bell or a bell that doesn't sound at all. But this one is adjusted nicely. So that's one way you can kind of figure out what goes where and what does what. The 1,000 point relay is a little more intense, but it's also not the bell's not going on this one either. It was a minute ago. This one's also a lot more busy, so I'm a little more nervous to short things together, but let's see. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh, that's the hold-on switch. That's why it does that. All the good ones are in the back.
Yeah. Every time you send us hydration, direction, Midge just got you.
Midge is doing the hydrating right
He's
now. I'm trying
so
to work.
hydrated. Oh my gosh, this view is beautiful.
Sorry, you're looking at my hand, aren't you?
You make a better door than a window.
Sorry. Anyways, I don't know. I was just trying to explain something that's helped me in the past kind of figure out what's going on back here, but
Yeah. Kyle's hair is magic smoke.
That's what it looked like, dude.
it looked like smoke? Oh, cool. Well, it's all going away tomorrow, so. Anyways, I think feature-wise we're doing okay. Let's see if these slingshots work any better now that we've lubricated the pivots. Maybe the switches aren't necessarily dirty, but just for giggles. Because again, this game, logically, it seems to be working okay. Oh gosh, those are so much stronger now.
Wow.
They actually kick the ball where it needs to go. I want to look at the flippers. Let's look at one of these really old Williams flipper setups. If everything else works out logically and it's it's tuned exactly how it needs to be, the final step really would be to make sure all the lamps work, and that's about it.
Even if you are a pain. Oh, I missed that last part. That was a zinger.
It's a lot of bonus.
Nice. Rip that spinner.
Yes. Oh, I love those upper slingshots. They are very fun.
Yeah, see? This game is fun.
Yeah. Hey,
Kyle
all
was
pinball's
waxing
fun.
the play field before we started the show.
I got a
Which
special.
is why it's all nice and shiny.
So David, if you're curious, special on planets, I think just it awards 10,000 points. We don't have.
Colin, no.
No.
We are, yeah. This is our nice Marco family-friendly company PG stream.
And also, you
We
live in
drink-
a state where those things are okay. And in my state, you'll get sent to prison for a very long time if you are obtain any of that stuff. So, thankfully you live in the first world and we're just slumming it in the third world, but
Love the sound of the ball rolling on the playfield. I know, it's so nice.
It is nice. It does make me sad though, just because the playfield is so rough, But that being said, I will continue. This ball is an old ball. Like before we deliver it, it will have
Kyle's got really smooth balls.
That's right. It'll have a nice fresh ball when we get it. Maybe we might need to
Secret Saturday streams.
lube that. I think that spinner actually rides in a plastic bushing bearing.
Whoa.
But
That
let's
was
look at some
crazy.
of the
What
other
if we made
mechanisms
this
really
show
quick.
3D, you just see the playfield come right at you.
Because we will be. Actually, you know what? That would be fun to shoot that kind of stuff, Emoto. Like, it'd be fun
I
to shoot
know.
when you're here is do like some B-roll stuff. Like put your camera really nice on that relay bank and then restart the game and watch. Get a slow-mo thing of all of those steppers and relays slamming away. You know what I mean?
I should get a macro lens before I come.
You should.
Like a 35 millimeter macro. So we get a wide.
You should get a 35 millimeter Marco lens. Dang, that was a dumb dad joke. Let's look at these
I'm
Williams
ending the stream
flippers.
right now.
These are really, really similar to what the first solid state games would also use. I think the setup is almost identical, if not very close to identical. Very simple though, still have a dual wound coil, right, with an end of stroke switch. You have a fiber link right here and a spring and a coil stop. It is a very, very simple, efficient flipper. Where we would look for wear on this flipper mechanism,
Most of the time, you're gonna find lots of wear here and not a lot of wear up here. And I think that's pretty apparent. This one's not that bad. But can you see there between the link and the plunger how we've got a good amount of slop there?
Yeah.
That's weak flipper performance. You'll see that that will make your flipper experience a little worse. Also, like if we were cradling the ball in this sort of an instance, right? Look at if I hold the plunger down and I wiggle the flipper, look at how much wiggle we get there. And that's not because of a cracked bushing or anything like that, right? That's all from right here. So if this game was more, if that actually made the gameplay suffer a bit more, I'd be more concerned about it. But on this old game, it's really not that important. The flippers are actually quite strong, even in this state. This amount of wear in a new Stern game, or this amount of wear in a 1990s Williams or Bally game, would be extremely noticeable and would definitely sour your experience of playing the game.
Rebel Dog asked, "Is the coil really loose?"
Yeah, it's a little loose, but what we're gonna find if I took it off is it's missing the washer. There's a big wave washer that should live in between the coil and the stop, or the coil and the retention bracket, and that's missing. So it's not a problem. If I was rebuilding this flipper and I didn't have that washer, I wouldn't seek it out. But on a newer game, it will make a difference to make sure that the coil is nice and tight.
Midge recommends that you buy the flipper crank assembly.
You can, yes.
And install it.
What I would do, if this was my game and I found the flippers needing to be replaced, I wouldn't buy the whole assembly, and this is why. This part doesn't go bad. This is a strong metal piece. You do not need this most of the time. You do not even need the plunger a lot of the time. Well, there is a link. We do have a link that would work. So I wouldn't buy. I would want to replace the problem, which would be this piece here. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's dang cheap.
You could keep this as a spare or just transfer this over, but I'm pretty sure that we do have this in somehow, and I'd need to find it on the website, but this is the part that I would want to stock up on, or you know what I'll try to do is I'll make sure that this and this are available somehow. That's a lot of slop. This is bad. This one will need to be replaced. That's sad. Again, if I'm cradling the ball, or if I'm holding the flipper up to try to catch the ball, and then the ball comes down and hits it. I mean, you've got a ton of wiggle room here. And look at that. Look at how that affects the end of stroke switch even, right? Let me try to get around.
What's the part called again? Rolling Wonder was asking, what's the part to the left of the first flipper coil you showed? The switch?
Pointed out here. You've got your end of stroke switch. You've got the flipper crank or the flipper pawl. You've got your link. You've got your plunger. There's a roll pin. There's a washer and a hairpin to hold it to the pawl. And then you've got your coil stop at the back of the coil. This coil's broken.
That was awesome. That's a good pin tip.
It's exploded. Oh well, it's fine. Let me clean my hands really quick because I just realized I was probably touching.
Dent says, might as well replace both plunger assemblies if you replace one.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't just replace one. I wouldn't replace the upper ones on this game just because the shots that they're trying to make are like 8 inches from where the flippers are, so it really won't make that much of a difference. But yeah, I think I don't know. Sometimes I don't like wasting, which is why I'm like, oh, I wouldn't buy the whole thing. You don't need one of those parts. At that price point, they're so dang cheap. You might as well just buy the whole thing, but you might not need to replace the pawl. You know what I mean? But I will see. I'm pretty sure that we do have these links. They're just not easy to find. Plungers are pretty universal. You know, a 2-inch plunger is a 2-inch plunger most of the time, depending on a few factors. But most of the time, if you were piecing together something, right? People ask me this all the time, like with Zaccaria games or something like that we don't actually have like replacement parts for. You can piece things together pretty easy. With measurements, right? If the space between the hole for the pawl and the roll pin is, half an inch, just find another one that's about a half an inch. If the plunger is this length, I don't know. Sometimes you got to get creative. Sometimes you might need to fix something and you don't have time to order something from Marco and have it show up in extraordinarily fast, like 2 days. So you have to piece things together from parts, and that's very gratifying. But
say hi to Mr. Loaf. Just entered the chat.
He's too fancy now. No, he's too fancy now. No, he's too fancy now because he has a fancy shadow. He bought a fancy guy game now. He's not.
I want to be
not,
fancy.
He's not punk rock anymore.
Be fancy.
Shadow's kind of punk rock.
Nah.
Battlefield. Love is a battlefield.
Yeah, you got Pluribus.
It is. You're right.
Oh.
Gundick. Have you seen the picture? Yeah.
Hello,
everybody.
Mango Slice. Welcome.
Shucks, we're almost to the last 30 minutes.
We're almost to the last 30 minutes. I had a question. What should I make? What should we make Kyle do for bits? That's not hydrating or the other thing.
Stretching.
Friendship? Is that what you said?
Taking a nap.
Friendship? Nap on the show?
They balance.
What if
Hey, we got a first time chat from Stony
hello,
Creek.
Stony Creek. Thanks for joining us. He says, or she, sorry, how can I tell if a coil stop needs replacing? Will the flipper power decrease? That's a great question.
Sometimes it will. Sometimes
Fix his hair.
Sometimes a broken coil stop will cause a flipper to stick up also, or not return as quickly or smooth as the opposing flipper. What I'm gonna ask you, what game? If this is a new Stern game, there is a couple easy ways to tell if the coil stop may have gone bad. Unfortunately, some of the new Stern games, they do have coil stops that fail semi-prematurely. On Star Trek, which Star Trek? There's many Star Treks. Gottlieb Star Trek, Bally Star Trek, Data East Star Trek, Williams Star Trek, Stern Star Trek. So many. I'm going to assume it's a Stern Star Trek. What I would recommend doing is lifting up your playfield and getting it to a point where you can look at the flipper and then actuate the flipper. Okay, actuate the flipper and watch the back of the coil stop. Let me give you a visual just so you can kind of take, see. I'll grab, hey, look, it's a Stern coil stop right here.
Stern Star Trek 2003.
So yeah, that probably needs replacing.
Yeah, it probably needs replacing. But what you'll find, this is a Stern coil stop. Can you put the handheld one on?
Yeah. Nope.
The one way you can tell when they do get bad is a lot of times if you look underneath the position where this is in the cabinet, sometimes you'll see some gold dust at the bottom of the cabinet. But if you actuate the flipper either via the game or by hand, sometimes you can see the core plug starting to wiggle. And if this thing is making like any bit of movement, that means you do need to replace it. So, yeah.
Nice. They wiggle.
The other way you could tell when a coil stop needs to be replaced is when they are significantly shorter than like a factory version. So a lot of the times if I take a flipper apart,
can you lift it up, please?
Whenever I take apart a flipper for whatever reason, generally I'll go grab a fresh coil stop and see. I'll put them like head to head, and I'll see which if the old one is substantially shorter. If you replace a coil stop, it's generally recommended that you replace the flipper plunger as well. They wear together. As the plunger slams into this thing, they create their own shape and they mate together. So if you had a worn
dented up plunger and you put a fresh coil stop in it, it's going to make the flippers behave oddly. So if you are going to replace the coil stop, replace the plunger or the plunger and link assembly together.
And Midge dropped a link in the chat for you. Thank you.
Good
luck, Stony Creek.
SFL kit 1L2R.
Wow, nice.
A lot of the times I don't tell people to rebuild upper flippers, but Star Trek is a game that absolutely will need the upper flipper redone. Having a nice, crisp, strong flipper lets you hit that warp ramp, and it is the most satisfying thing. Warp 1, Warp 2, Warp 3.
That does feel so
It's so good.
Wait, where'd you go?
I went and put my parts away.
Awesome. So, Stony Creek has been lurking on the streams for months. Well, we're glad you finally joined us in the chat. Feel free to say
Thank you.
hi. We love to see y'all in the chat.
Flippers are
I
important.
changed the reward tier. Maybe it'll take effect now. Maybe it won't. We'll see.
Yeah,
What are we gonna make Kyle do next?
I mean, I am an e-clown, so
Wait, so planets. What is left to make planets?
honestly, I'm probably going to slather a teeny bit of grease on the contact surface of the stepper
Thank you,
units.
May.
I am going to probably rebuild the bottom flippers, but not the upper flippers. And I might grease or just double check the... I want to make sure that this thing is rotating with maximum vigor. I might adjust the switches for the advancement of the bonus just a teeny bit closer. I can do that with my fingers right now. I want good action, and I want the bonus unit to really rip. But other than that, I mean, there's really not much. It works. It seemingly scores fine. All logic seems okay. What I need to do is I need to sit down and actually play the game. Hey, Steve, thanks for gifting gift subs.
Also, we just had a few people trade in their bits for you to tell us a pinball joke.
Come on. I'm the least funny person.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Okay, wait. I'm going to request that you change that to pinball trivia, so then I can trivia.
Okay.
I can trivia the audience. But a pinball joke? I might have to phone a friend. I'm not funny. Steve is.
You are so funny. All right, Midge, give us this pinball joke.
ball jokes.
I mean, they're all ball jokes, and I have to be family friendly on this show. I can't be vulgar, so.
Balls are friendly and family.
How about this? I'm going to ignore the pinball joke, and I'm going to pose trivia.
Fair enough.
Name. How many pinball machines can you name that do not have the back glass? Actually, no. Here, name 2 Williams WPC pinball machines that do not have the names on their back glass. There is also another game that I can think of right now that is not a Williams game that does not have its name on the back glass. There might be more than just 2.
There's a Sega game.
That's the one I'm thinking of. But go down. I can't see the chat.
Oh,
Oh, I know both of them. Yeah.
you can't have a family without them. I agree. I was gonna say that, but I didn't. Thank you, Roller.
There's a Mars Trek in Licorice Pizza. Do you know that my Mars Trek Transmission Arcade was used in
it's a period piece?
anti-gambling or anti-lottery addiction ad in South Carolina? That was pretty cool.
That is right.
Trivia is
Problem with pinball.
what?
Someone knows.
Yeah, sure. It's funny though, because it's like, come on guys, pinball is not gambling though. Like, that's not a good.
It isn't. You know, kids still can't play pinball.
Yeah. Yeah, see, another reason why South Carolina is the third world, there's actually a law that was put on the books less than 15 years ago that says that
people under the age of 18 cannot play pinball. It's not ball games or bingo. It literally says pinball.
Nice altered beast.
Wait, Altered Beasts pinball joke.
That's good.
This is our new host of our show, Kyle. You're fired.
That's really good.
How many quarters does it take to play the Lord of the Rings? None. It only takes tokens.
That's really good.
That's so good. God, I must keep that in my brain forever.
Yeah, don't forget
was
that
amazing.
one. Look, no one knows.
What
Everyone's
was
all
your
like, I
trivia
don't know.
question again? I was busy on Twitch.
Wow.
What's the trivia question?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to tell you.
It was the backlash.
Yeah, it's the back glass thing.
Oh, yeah. I know that one. That's my favorite one that you've told me before.
Yeah, Sega for bonus points. So just keep thinking, and there's this one Sega game for bonus points. The problem is that there's only like 7
There's only,
Sega
like,
games, so it's
I
easy
was
to
going
find.
to say, there's such a limited amount of Sega games. It should be easy. Bad Out of Hell says Hurricane is sort of one.
No.
Not really.
Okay, no.
Try though.
You're close, but no. Close, but no.
There's a very
They're both
common.
very popular. Both the games are very popular.
Wait. Okay. Wait.
Popular.
Hurricane.
Is that?
Is it only on the topper? Really?
No.
No. I think the name of the.
It's got that weird like.
Well, but I thought the Hurricane was written on the actual roller coaster depicted in the back box.
I thought
right?
so too, but I'm looking at it and I think.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So two people got it right
No,
away,
it
but
is.
now
It's written on the bottom. It is written on there. It's on this little thing in the bottom corner.
So I
like
can
where
tell
the
now that
Hurricane
people are
Bright is.
sitting here on IPDB because it took them a long time to figure it out. So Whitewater and Joel have been sitting on IPDB looking at all the games, and they found one of them. Whitewater is correct.
Not media. Yeah.
Lost
Whitewater,
World is
and then
one
the
that
other
I'm
one
not
is
sure
gonna
of.
be like, when you hear it, you're gonna say, no, that's not true, and then you're gonna look it up and be like,
I hope so. Lost World might be true. I don't know that one. I think that is correct though.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, Lost
oh yeah,
World
and then we'll
counts.
ask
So now
Grumpies afterwards.
So
there's 2 Sega games that I know of. Bam! All right, so Ty is really good at IPDB because Adam's Family is the other one.
Go, Mr. Loaf.
Adam's Family does not say the name of the game on the actual back glass.
That's so wild. That's so funny.
So Lost.
So we
So
got
the
'em
ones
all.
that I knew were Whitewater and Adam's Family. Then Lost World definitely counts, and there's one more Sega game. One more Sega game. All those people deserve high fives.
High fives.
IPBB cheaters, but whatever, it's fine.
Ice Skidoo said.
Drum roll, we're waiting. Also, I did not IPDB. Hey,
Whatever, man.
prove it, bro. Send me your search history right now. No, I'm just kidding. That one got me
Sega.
though, because like
Now you
it's,
make me want to do it.
it's so iconic. You don't even
I don't
think
remember
about
the
it.
Sega one. Harley? Sega.
I don't think so. Harley Davidson will put their name on anything and everything they possibly can. So I can't imagine they would have let them not brand their pinball machine.
Baywatch.
No, Baywatch says Baywatch all over it. Harley has the name on it.
Oh, I was saying nope to Baywatch.
Oh,
I know, he knew instantly.
Harley Davidson right over the top.
the Bally
He's like,
Harley
I'm looking at
Davidson.
it.
Are we talking Valley or?
Well, let's look at both because there's 2 Harley Davidsons.
Well, there's like 6 of them.
Ice Skidoo says that his message was. He's
The Sega Harley version. No, definitely it's huge on it.
yeah. Harley Davidson puts their name on everything they can. All right, cool. I might have stumped you, people on the internet, just a little bit, but that was a good one. Lost World. I'll give it another few minutes and then I'll say the name.
Valley has it on there too.
Okay, Harley Davidson. Both
Hideout.
versions have the name written on it. Great Barry Haussler game. Harley
Is
Davidson,
it a
the Bally
famous
game.
game?
Yeah, totally. I even kind of like the Sega Start one a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a weirdo though.
That's fine.
I like that the video mode that's also in NASCAR.
Yeah.
Run people over.
I like the
said
I like
last
the
one.
Bally Harley Davidson because it's symmetrical. Huh?
I give up. Golden Q?
It's not a pinball machine. Golden K.
Golden
Que
K?
paso, man?
It is a pinball machine.
What's the trivia? What
No.
Sega game does not have the title of the game on the back glass?
Other than Lost World, because we've already.
Yeah, in Boise Pinball, it's a Jurassic Park: The Lost World is another
Right.
Sega game that
It's
does
just
not
them
have
running
the name
from
on
the
it.
T-Rex
Yeah.
or driving away from the T-Rex. I forget.
I don't
Someone's
like
running.
back glasses
Someone's
like
running.
that, man. Like the montage or like, I really like. I personally, I think a good pinball back glass puts you into the
Independence Day?
scene and you're in the art, right? So like for example.
I think they did a good job on Rush first. I like Rush.
Well, the
Yeah,
art's great.
Rush
No,
is
I think
nice.
Rush is great too. But like,
The coloring's nice.
if but it's like it kind of goes against my rules because it's a montage,
Is
right?
It, no, I mean it's a scene, right? You got the.
Is
you
it?
got the band, you got the TV. I guess it is a.
But what am I, right? Here, put the camera on. Kyle's
Batman
gonna be an art
Forever?
critic now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yes.
you.
Batman Forever?
It's just forever.
Because it only says forever?
It's not the actual name. It just says forever.
It's forever. Yeah.
Nice.
I think,
But
uh,
Batman's on it, so it's an assumed, right?
I think Bally always did a great job with this, right? Viking is an incredible art package because, I mean, what are you looking at here, right? Like you're looking at these two
There you
dudes
go.
fighting in like this Viking hall, but like I feel like I am sitting at the opposite table from the, the king and all those other
Yeah,
people.
you're
You are
in the
you are
moment.
in the scene. You are in this hall where these Vikings are drinking and battling and stuff like that, right? I think that is excellent pinball artwork.
Yeah.
If you take composition out of it, I'm just talking about like or not composition, but we're talking exactly about the composition, but like
Okay.
8-Ball too, right? Even though the artwork
Yeah.
is like
He's looking
silly,
at you.
but it's like you are in this scene, right? You are playing pool
Oh, I
with
love the pointy people.
not
Fonzie's looking at you.
not Fonzie. That is not Fonzie.
Hey.
You are playing pool with not Fonzie and that woman and stuff like that, right? But then I think pinball artwork just changed at a point, and you get these kind of like fantastical scenes, But I think
Yeah,
like
Kings of
artwork like
Still's
this is just next level cool. Lady Luck is not anything special. Strikes and Spares doesn't really suit my point, but I don't know. If I got my point across, if you agree with me, say cool. If not, say what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, that's right, Grumpy. Dog soccer doesn't say dog.
Well, that's because Williams did a terrible job branding that game.
Awesome. That was fun trivia. Wait, we have to scroll back up and ask Grumpy's trivia now. There's a very common playfield feature missing on Planets or Zodiac. I own an 80s Williams game that is also missing this common feature. Name the feature and the other game.
Okay, so the feature is definitely a pop bumper, and I'm trying to think of 80s Williams games that don't have pop bumpers. Fire doesn't have a pop bumper. Fire has 4 slingshots.
Oh, Rebel
Big
Dog.
Guns?
No.
Does Big Guns have a pop bumper? I don't think Big
think
Guns
that
has a
was
pop
one.
bumper either.
Borg Dog doesn't like Jack in the Box.
Here's Ding Ding
sounds
Ding.
so
I got
cute.
it. Swords of Fury also doesn't have a pop bumper. Yeah. Good point. Ice Ski-Doo Vector does have a pop bumper. It's just hidden. It's kind of in a weird spot.
I have so many ideas.
I think it's important.
Oh, was
Look,
Jurassic Park The Lost World for this trivia?
yes, Jurassic Park: The Lost World would have count in our trivia here. So
The Williams hockey one?
Williams hockey. There is a hockey game. I don't know.
Jack in the Box.
I just keep thinking
Cool.
of.
Yeah, the jumping jack guys. Intense.
Well, what are you talking about? He's a happy clown.
I know,
with-
but some people don't like clowns.
No, I think it's horrifying.
He's like,
It is kind of like that game is kind of nightmare fuel. in a certain way, but we don't need to talk about the art on Jack in the Box because it's very one-sided. Like, look, even like the Bally's game show. I'm looking at the games we have on this back wall here. Like, that's a great piece of art. It's very strange, but like, I feel like looking at the back glass of game show, like I'm the contestant. Like Keith McTeeth is being like, you just won, and he's handing me a bunch of money. Like, I think that's the art that really speaks to me. Now, that being said too, like lots of Python Angelo's art, while also being like anthropomorphic nightmares, like he had a lot of amazing art, right? Like the Where's Waldo style stuff on Comet and Cyclone and Hurricane, the top down of the theme park, where the rollover gates at the top, the rollover lanes is the entrance and everyone's filtering through.
Oh my god. We unlocked an animated emote.
Oh man, we're gonna have to do that.
Who should we animate? Should we make Cletus go like this?
No.
Oh, okay.
Wait, yes, maybe. I don't know. I'm looking at Steve. Steve wants to. I say do it.
Awesome.
Check out Gigi. Yeah, Gigi is you know what else is? Look at the artwork on Mayfair. Mayfair always creeped me the hell out. That's a strange back glass. I don't know why.
I think my favorite
Emote.
Dragonette, that's a cool back glass.
that's one of my favorites.
It's the with the 40s Gottlieb, or it's like the dude with the magnifying glass. It's like, yeah, Dragnet.
It's everything's a pond on there.
Yeah.
It's super fun.
Altered
Ice Skidoo
BC.
says, do you remember when you had to spend all your winnings at the end of Wheel of Fortune?
What?
I don't know. Do you
Wheel of
remember
Fortune Pinball
when
is one
you
of my
had to
favorite games
spend
ever.
all your winnings at the end of Wheel of Fortune?
Yeah, the question about the Space Odyssey back glass, yeah, replace it. I mean, what you should do is you should hang that one up and use it as like nice wall art and be very gentle with it, but
Triple thick on the back before you do that.
maybe.
You're not a fan of that?
If the back glass is too flaky and you put some triple thick on it, I've had that stuff go underneath the flaking artwork and peel all of it off. So I honestly do not like to seal back glasses at all, but it's a opinion thing, you know. But Space Odyssey, definitely replace it. I believe CPR actually makes a replacement. If not, BG Resto might be able to do you up.
Whoa.
Dent0123. Sega games are hated so bad in my area that there are almost none to play. It seems like maybe in your area you're the only person with taste in pinball because those are fine pinball machines. I've been working on a Frankenstein quite a lot in Savannah, and that's quickly becoming one of my favorite Sega games of that era. It's really fun. Great John board game. I can't see the chat now because Emoto's staring at emotes.
I was trying to get Shaky Cletus. I named him Intense Cletus. Okay.
I had a guy
Bunch
tell
of
me that he
Sega arcade
Mylar's
games.
back
Yeah,
glasses.
like Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah, I don't think so. Grumpy EM Doctor brings up a good point too. On some really badly flaking back glasses, the pressure from the spray paint will blow all the paint away. So just hang it on the wall and enjoy it while it's still there. So.
Did you see Borg Dog's comment saying that they Mylar, that's a guy Mylars his back glass instead of triple thick?
Yeah, that's
Have you ever done that?
interesting. I mean, that if you can get it down all in one piece,
Oh, Nick
there's no
Shell
reason why
is
that
who
wouldn't work.
Mylar, or is a Mylar of back glasses. Nick Shell is the operator out of Roanoke Pinball Museum. He's awesome.
That guy rules. He's so smart.
He's like Kyle 2.0, I think.
Sounds like he's got a fun game room.
Right?
Virtua Fighter, House of the Dead.
Daytonas?
Dang.
Dang.
Let's go party at your house.
Yeah, no, the
The prize
Sega games
showcase.
are
I
great.
don't remember Wheel of Fortune. I mean, I remember Wheel of Fortune. I don't remember how the prize tiers work.
yeah, I don't remember that. I didn't watch that a lot when I was a kid.
All right, so we have 15 more minutes. Again, if any of y'all have any questions about your pinball repair project that you're currently working on, now is a great time to ask that in the chat. People in the chat can help.
Someone else.
Kyle, Midge will try to help. I'll provide colorful commentary.
I'll put my tools in my toolbox so I don't forget them.
Next week, we are going to
Bust out Surf Champ. We'll work on. We'll take a EM project that was brought to me, and we'll take a look at it and see what we should do with it. The first things first is always, checking out steppers. The same thing we do all the time on EMs. So we'll take a look-see at that game for sure. Be fun.
Awesome. And just a side request that I have not requested before, but maybe there's someone in the chat that would actually be really interested in doing this. We are looking for someone to transcribe, not word for word, but just transcribe the moments and document the time code of each of our PinTech Live episodes. So you would watch the show as it happens, and then you'll just kind of write the time code, and Kyle talks about coil stops, how to switch a flipper, or how to do a flipper rebuild, or tips and tricks on how to make a new shooter rod into a sanding device to create a shooter lane on an EM. Little things like that, where then on the YouTube channel, people can click just on those time codes and then get that information sooner. Because we know that it's like 2-hour long video. There's so many awesome little bits of information that we get, but unless you watch the entire episode, you may not find those. So we want to see what we can do
find the
to
time code
get
where the drill bit
So if you
got
are
lost.
interested in volunteering for a very low pay internship, I'll see what I can do. Please email me at marcotv@marcopinball.com. I got a budget. It's a little budget, but I got a budget. We're looking for someone to help us on the team.
Wow.
Because we would love to have that. That was my sales pitch.
Good sales pitch.
Someone, please help us.
Good sales pitch.
You're watching the show anyway, right? Might as well take time code and jot down. Kyle loses drill bit. Maybe this is perfect for roller pinball to take on.
I have a feeling that one already has the transcribing done to it, but
No, I think it was during our transcribing days, which is why I thought about it. It's like, oh yeah, we want to bring that back. Dig can type 150 words a minute. It doesn't make sense when it gets done. Yeah, we don't even need like an actual transcription. It's just time code notes of the show.
fair enough. Colin, there will not be a Saturday stream.
No Saturday stream.
Not for the foreseeable future, as I don't have enough time.
Why does the Pope only play bingo pinball?
Because he's holy. That's so good. That is so good. I like that.
How do you get inspired to get motivated to work on a System 80?
Don't ask me. I have so many broken pinball machines that I need to work on. I don't want to touch them. No, they're great. That's what
inspires you, is that they're fantastic games when they're working.
Yeah. Right. No, you know what is going to inspire you? Go work on someone else's game, and then you'll enjoy it, and then you'll want to come work on your stuff for like 30 minutes and be like, nah, I want to go drink a beer and sit down. That's what I do every single day.
So pretend all right, here's else's game and you're getting paid for it.
Yeah. Just pretend it's not yours.
So Iskidoo says, if I reverse the wires on opto flippers, which ones must be physically swapped versus which can remain intact?
Why are you doing that?
Yeah, why? I mean, do you have like one opto pair that's going bad and you've got like a one flip? Honestly, I don't know. You'd have to look at.
Opto generally tells you, right?
Yeah, if you look at the optos, you can figure out where they come to on the connector. But I mean, the replacement boards are relatively inexpensive. You know, like if you're trying to, I'm assuming it's just a WPC game with opto flipper boards. You know. A Twitch redemption that reverses my flippers.
Wow. That's awesome, Ice
Cool.
I don't know. I'd have to look at the schematic. I have no idea. That's really cool, and that's amazing. And
Probably have to do it at the board level.
you'd have to do it at the board
He's
unless
done
you
it
had like
on
a relay
Stearns
set up to
really
like
easily.
swap their positions or something like that.
Yeah, you could do that.
That would be extraordinarily complicated. I'm also an idiot, and like I can only think in like.
Easier than doing it at the board level. Yeah. You can
Well, but I'm sure that someone smart with an Arduino can get that done with like 10 cents worth of components, you know, and I can do it with like three $20 relays because I'm outdated. I used a smart relay board. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
He's
cool.
He's already done it for Stearns. But the Williams ones are
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head.
Such an interesting.
I'd have to be more caffeinated and like look at the paperwork. I can barely even
That's
put a
smart.
sentence.
Yeah.
There.
I want to go look at it.
Steve wants to
Yeah,
do this
that's
now.
awesome.
That's really cool. Anyone play the digital pinballs they're selling at warehouse stores? The arcade one-up ones?
They're okay
It's cool. I mean,
for what it is.
yeah, for what it is, it's a fun little toy, you know. But yeah, it's weird when you are used to playing real, actual pinball. You know, there's no replacement for the real thing. But
Yeah.
I've played some really neat, like convincing, you know, digital pinball games where people like actually put like tactile feedback things inside the game. So when you hit the flipper, it actually like thunks, but it's just not the same. I'm also lucky to always be surrounded by a bunch of pinball machines, but like if I was like living in remote Wyoming, you know, and there was no pinball anywhere, it'd be pretty cool to have one game that played like 1,000 different pinball machines. So I won't hate on
Yeah,
it.
for sure. I really want to get a P3 machine one day.
I do too. I wish that
When
I was
I'm
rich.
Especially now that they get weird out.
Yeah, I wish I
Oh,
made
wanted
enough
to
money
play
to buy a
Rhythm
P3 game.
Explosions so bad,
They're pricey.
and a bunch of other games.
I really like the Heist game. I was addicted to playing Heist when I was in Houston, and that was amazing. I haven't seen the actual video for Weird Al, but the playfield looks really fun. And I think
Yeah.
everyone, someone said that
I
like,
wonder if they're
people-
going to bring that to Texas.
Yeah, it'll probably be a TPF. People sleep
That'd
on
be
all those
awesome.
Sega games and stuff too, but man, y'all have been sleeping on the P3 games for like ever. They're good. It's fun.
They're
it's a
so
really neat
good.
platform.
We played P3 at Fliptronic's house, and Jimmy got to play Barnyard Animals. So funny. I just love the range of games.
It's neat. I
Did
thought
you say there's a Weird Al? Yes, there's P3 Multimorphic announced Weird Al Pinball. It's their new game.
Yeah, their first licensed theme.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Wow. Gosh, amazing.
There's
What a
so many
great company.
titles for that platform.
Weird Al Pinball.
Um,
No, not Bob Ross. Boss Pinball. Weird Al. Is there a Weird Al emote?
probably somewhere.
Waman. Waman.
That's a funny acronym.
Yeah, take out a loan. Get you a P3, you won't regret it. And then you got to get all the different units. Modules. And then display it
Borg
by your
Dog.
P3.
That is cool. Yes. He wants a P3 so he can build his own games. I think that's probably the best platform.
Right? Borgdog, can you build a Miyazaki themed game
That's
for
so
us?
cool.
Please.
I I've been having trouble for like the past 7 years, like just drawing a pinball machine that I want to build. But like I can't imagine like also needing to figure out video assets and stuff to interact with the rollover screen. You know what I mean? Like for developing a game on the P3 platform, there's so many visuals. Ice Skidoo says,
could you help me on the side with finding a gate that would fit across the top left ramp to block failed magnet shots from rolling back down the ramp to straight down the middle?
Interesting. Yeah, like like
on Stranger Things.
So thinking like I'm thinking about games like Medieval Madness or something like that that had a gate that was only half of the diameter or half of the width of the ramp, so that would force the ball to go one way to feed it back to the flipper nicely. If you got me dimensions of like the ramp, like the opening and how thick the or how wide the actual like upturn part is too, we might be able to come up with something. I'd be very willing to help you measure anything we have in stock. So yeah, send me an email, just kyle@marcopinball.com, and get me those informations, and I'm happy to go measure stuff for you. That's a great idea, actually.
That's awesome. Ice Skidoo's up to so much fun stuff.
Maybe I really do want to get them to change the software on that, though. Like there should, to compensate for a, I mean, maybe they have by now, but to compensate for a ball that's failed to lock off of the left ramp, I would love if it just gave you a free ball. Like, you know, if the last thing it saw was going up the ramp and then it immediately saw the ball going back through the ramp exit and then it hits the drain, you should have a bit of a ball save timer on that.
Oh, well, look at that. I was over here refreshing the pinball category on Twitch since it's almost time for us to say goodbye to you guys. We miss you already. And it looks like Leet Sandman just jumped on.
Ah.
There is someone playing virtual pinball, but you know, when you can have the real thing.
Yeah, let's keep it real.
Oh,
Leet Sandman
nicer.
comes into our channel.
Plus, Leet Sandman's awesome. It's a cool guy.
Are any of you guys going to be in Texas before we go? Guys or girls?
Yeah,
Do we have
who's going to be in Texas? Raise your hand. I did a poll last time. I'm not doing it again.
See if anyone's changed their minds now. I accept thanks
More people
in
should be
any
coming.
capacity in the form of Shinerbach. So if you are coming to Texas, I would love to drink a beer with you around 4 to 6 p.m.
Bring your key fob.
Oh, yeah.
Dead flip key fob. You have Jurassic Park the pin.
I'm not
And
going.
anyone who has Jurassic Park the pin has a little Jack Danger has to give you a free drink, or maybe it's beer.
Well, but I think he
if
said
you
that
give
he was
him the
gonna.
key fob back.
I thought he said he was gonna snap it in half or something. I don't want to lose it. In like 10 years, I want to find Jack and be like, "Hey, Bucko, you remember this thing?" And then he has to buy me
Well,
a
what if
drink.
you make jewelry and you just like have a choker with the little dead
I'll
flip?
just go throw it in the scanner and I'll go make like 100 of them secretly for myself.
Oh my
and then
gosh! Yeah, let's do that.
no. That will
That
get me
would be so
blacklisted
funny.
and banned.
We just
from
make
Stern.
black market dead flip key fobs. So all of a sudden he has to owe like 2,000 people drinks.
I'm doing it.
We'll get like a handful of them right at the Twippy's award ceremony, and we'll go yeet to everyone, and everyone will be like, ah.
A bucket. We're gonna get a bucket.
It's the best idea I've
That
ever
is pretty
heard.
fun. Okay, wait. There's a few more things before we go.
Hey Patrick, how's it going? What do you think about the new P3?
I don't know because I've never played it, but it looks really cool, and I'm a big fan of all the work that they've done on that platform. I think it's really rad, and I would love to own one day. Are you
Rebel
all
Dog,
coming to the
we will
Northwest
see you at
Pinball?
SFGE Dent. I am pretty confident Texas will not shut down that event. And Borg Dog, we will be at Northwest Pinball Show.
Cool. Some cool kids are
And-
coming to Allentown,
nice
but I'm not
kid.
allowed to go, Emoto said, so I'm not going. But Steve will be. Steve,
Yay, Steve's
Emoto's
coming to Allentown.
Emoto's too afraid that I'm going to stay there with the Kiffle people and just like, become a Kiffle monger.
Well, I'll bring you Kiffle.
I'm going to give you
Yeah.
like $200 and you're going to just bring me a bunch of snacks again. It's going to be great.
Last year, except it was reversed.
Reversed. I'm going to give you $300. I want all the snacks. Bring me that cheese.
So that means Midge can
Not
ride
just
with
Kiffle,
me
not just
and watch Lord of the Rings.
That would be. Yeah, I think especially like with Texas itself. I mean, Texas. I don't think Texas ever like even said that COVID was real. So I don't think they're going to shut down this event. So if you were considering coming to Texas, you might want to get your ticket now. It'd be great to meet you.
Yeah, come on. Pin Daddy, we are sponsoring Yegpin this year. And we potentially may be able to send someone up there to walk the show because we would love to exhibit in Canada. If you have any other show suggestions for us, please drop it in the chat. We're always open.
Can I go to that super cool pinball show in Hamburg, in Germany?
Rebel Dog, we'll see you at Southern Frag.
I want to go to that one.
Yes, that would be great.
Hey,
We should go to
actually,
Australia. We should go to France.
Jody, you need to
Croatia.
keep an eye out for good deals on sub $1,000 EMs. Like, that's the reason I'm sad I'm not going to Allentown is because I was thinking like the
Oh, the
one
good
pinball
deals,
machine I would
yeah.
buy this year would be at Allentown. So
First year I went there, there's a GG for $200 that I didn't buy.
a GG?
For $200.
That would have been a good one for
Mark was like, you should buy that. And I was like, man, I don't know. I'm not really into
for
it.
200
Send Kyle
bucks.
to Yegpin?
There was a
Maybe.
dancing lady or dancing, which is the Gottlieb game with the mirror and it's got the lady that spins. Is that dancing lady? There was one at Allentown for $800 and I almost bought it, but I bought Jungle Princess instead. And
APB,
I'm happy with that one.
come to Allentown
I'd love to go to the VF.
and see for yourself.
Going on, I thought the last one was
Yeah,
the last one.
if the VFW show is going to happen again this year, I'm going to try my damnedest to get there. I will do everything I possibly can this year to try to do
Yeah,
it.
Patrick, Godzilla Premium is amazing. And we will have several at our Marco Stern Fun booth.
It's such
So
a
we'll
good
see you
game.
there.
Was the
Would I leave? Could I leave? No, I think you would be trapped there forever, APB. You'd become the ghost of Allentown.
where is Yegpin?
Yegpin is in Monrovia.
In Calgary?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what I said.
I've never been to Calgary. I know where Calgary is. I've been to Edmonton. I think that's the
It's
same
in the middle,
province. Is Calgary.
Manitoba. Oh, I wanted to say Manitoba, but I was really wrong.
Oh, it's in Alberta.
Edmonton, Alberta.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've been. Sorry, Edmonton. I've been to Edmonton before. I've ridden my motorcycle there.
Mm.
Alberta, right?
I think
Why did I think it
Calgary
was
is
in
in
Manitoba?
Alberta. Or yes, wait, Canadians, is Calgary in Alberta? Calgary is like the capital of the province, right? Or is Edmonton the capital?
We're just Americans down here. They don't teach us about Canada in our schools.
No. I mean, I know enough. I know where Toronto is. I know Montreal. I know Quebec City. I know where Nova Scotia is. I know Vancouver,
Bay of Fundy.
Newfoundland.
Wow, Patrick, that's awesome. Paragon's for selling Alabama for $300.
Go get it.
Thank you, Brooklyn Penn. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Calgary is in Alberta.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Brooklyn Pin. Yeah, first time chatter.
I'm sorry
To give
that
us
my
the infos.
knowledge
Thank
of
you.
Alberta is not great.
Thank you,
So.
Ben Daddy, for helping us out on that one too.
Okay. Yeah, I rode my motorcycle
Thanks,
from
Joe.
Vancouver to Edmonton, and then we went a little bit further north, and then rode back down into the States. Brooklyn Pin says he knows that from
Nice.
watching hockey. Good man.
That's awesome.
Anyways,
right.
okay, everyone wants to go. I need to go pick up my beer. I also need to go to a customer's house and install the Squawk and Talk I repaired for them into his 8-ball deluxe. So,
Nice. That's awesome. Well, everyone that's here, stick around because we are going to. Oh, wow. What is this? We're going to raid Leet Sandman because I already said so, but Someone else started streaming.
Huh.
Stern TMT before supper. I thought I said before and after. Anyway, let's raid
Thank you for joining
some
us,
Elite
Daniel.
Sandman. For everyone that's on Facebook and YouTube, we will see you next week.
Yeah.
Feel free to come on over to Twitch. It's fun. We can be puppet masters and share emotes.
Hey, really
and do
quick,
fun
Patrick
stuff
Marino, when are you going to start carrying JJP parts? Most JJP parts are just Williams parts, so unless it's something unique.
Just take a couple numbers out of the.
Bye, Cian, okay?
Yeah, you
Goodbye,
can.
Daniel.
A lot of the wear parts, like
Goodbye,
flipper stuff, like we have linked to the JJP
Goodbye,
parts
Outback.
manuals, but a lot of the like actual just physical pieces are just Williams parts. So I don't know if that answers your question, but anyways, thanks y'all.
Goodbye,
Bye.
Bodog.
7 days from now.
Goodbye, Colin.
Hydrate.
Goodbye, Dig.
Goodbye,
Stick
friends.
around. Let's go say hi to Elite Sandman. We'll meet you guys in the chat.
Bye, y'all.
See ya. It's rating in 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Y'all are too nice.
Oh my gosh, Colin Baxter. He's gonna get us fired. All right, see you all next week. Bye, Arthur Pendragon. Raid! 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 Let's play that PinTech opening. Bitch. Look at this awesome thing. I know, isn't that